Welcome to the Whole Couple Podcast, the space where entrepreneurial couples come to build thriving businesses and marriages.
We are your hosts, Dana and Adam, a couple who knows firsthand what it takes to grow a business while keeping love, connection, and purpose at the center of it all.
If you've ever wondered how to pursue your dreams together without sacrificing your relationships, you're in the right spot.
Each month, we're going to share stories, strategies, and real conversations with millionaire couples to help you navigate the highs and lows of being in the business with the person that you love most.
So, whether you're just starting out or scaling to new heights, we're here to guide and inspire you to create a life and business you love together. This is the Whole Couple Podcast. Let's dive in. All right, honey, we have two amazing guests right now that we get to introduce that are not only dear friends of ours. We've done many inappropriate things. No, I won't say that. We've had a lot of fun with this next group here. And what's really neat about having them on this show is not only are we friends with them, they have done incredible things in the wealth building space.
Yes, and you know what else I was thinking?
What?
We went to their wedding and they came to our wedding.
That's right.
Oh, I love that. That's so fun. I know.
Let me go ahead and introduce them.
So we are super excited today to have Caleb and Ashley Pearson. They're our semi-neighbors, our friends. And yeah, super excited to have you guys. So thanks for being on.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us.
Okay, so we always start with, for those of you, we think everybody knows everybody, but for those of people who are watching or listening and maybe they don't know you guys, start with a little background. Just tell us a little bit about you guys, maybe how long you've been together and in the business space, and then what you do now in the business space too.
Okay. You want to, so she prepped. She had answers. She's been working on this for like 2 hours. I said, what are you doing? I said, I read the first 3 questions and I'm going to wing it.
We need to set some expectations.
That does not surprise me.
So if you hear someone call Ashley mama, that's because, Caleb will tell us what that really means. But if we accidentally call her mama, that's just what that means.
They're not like incest or anything.
Yeah.
It's not appropriate, but yeah, it's not incest.
So we're Caleb and Ashley Pearson. We've been married now. Our anniversary is actually on Sunday. We'll be married 7 years.
Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we met about 11 years ago. She was in the medical. She was working at MUSC as a director of finance at the medical university, and I was just getting some traction in real estate at the time. I was only like 3 or 4 years in, and I was grinding my way, calling expireds and FSBOs, and she was at the hospital working till 7 o'clock at night. And you want to tell how we met?
I mean, we met in the back of a cab leaving the shelter.
Yeah.
we found out that we were next door neighbors, which was amazing. Like that's kind of where it started. So I got in the cab. I had met his cousin, and we realized we lived in the same apartment complexes. So we were all like, "Oh, we'll all ride home together." And so there was basically his whole team and me and some girlfriends and this huge band together. And that's how it started.
I love it. That's a perfect meeting story for you all.
So let me go back, though. I remember meeting Caleb because he was on a team when I started becoming a team leader at the Keller Williams office here in Mount Pleasant. And then I met Ashley on the treadmill at the Old Village Gym.
Oh, funny.
That's right.
Love it. I remember meeting Caleb when he came to Family Reunion one year.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the first time I met Caleb, and then Ashley after that. So, yeah, that is so funny. Love it. Okay. So tell them a little bit about just your all's businesses and everything you do from a workspace. Because one of the things we are trying to get across with this are a lot of couples want to work together,
That's right.
but they're either scared to, or they don't think that they can, or they think they're going to get a divorce if they do, or all of the things. So talk a little bit about what businesses you have and then each of your roles.
Yeah. So, she was at MUSC, and then I was selling real estate, and then we were building the team up, and we were probably doing, 150-ish transactions at the time. And we got ahead of our skis in the financial department. So we didn't really have a financial department, and she was working late every night. And I was pretty much taking care of the kids, picking them up from school. I had a more flexible schedule. So
yeah.
Made like 4 times what I did, and was picking the kids up from school. And I was like, yeah.
Right.
So I was like, all right, quit over there, come over here. you can run the financial department. So we brought her into the office, and we're both kind of alphas, I guess. So we butted heads for the first couple weeks.
One of his employees literally said, it is uncomfortable. Like, this is an uncomfortable work environment. Like, because I would just scream and slam the door, and like, they were like,
she was like a bull in a china shop at the office. And like my leadership, I guess.
I mean, y'all, 3 people had to be fired my first day. Like, let's be honest. This was like, Caleb is, I mean, that's what I did. I in finance at MUSC, you are also over HR. So you basically hire and fire, and you're just, so I basically came in and looked at it from a totally different lens than he did. And I was like, this person's not making you money. They're losing you money. And he was just like,
she was like, we don't need this person. We don't necessarily need, what role are they filling? We really didn't need them. Not that they were bad people. I mean,
no,
they were great.
Right.
So she came in, we had 3 changes in employment right off the rip. And that lasted about 3 or 4 months maybe. And I was like, you got to go home. You can't be up and you can't be in this office all day long. So we had to find our lanes. And then once we found our lanes, like we really started gas pedal down and growing this thing. But she had to stick in her lane and I had to stick in mine. And
I did not work in the office any longer, which is crazy to think that we could live together, but we can't work in the same office. But it's just better that way. I mean, it was better for me to also not be so engaged in operations with him, because I didn't think he was doing it the right way.
But she got our finances in order across all of our companies. Then she replaced herself. We brought a CFO in, and she ran the construction department for a while in our flipping division. And then we ended up replacing her in that aspect. And now she still does a couple. I mean, she's good. Like if you give her a high end project, she cranks it out. She's really talented.
So I've just done basically the high end rentals, Airbnbs, and fix and flips. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. And I'm way more hands off than I was. But my replacement is amazing. And she's like exactly what he needed, because when he would ask me for something, I would kind of get mad, like as opposed to, because I'm like, you don't tell me what to do. Like wasn't very, I was like, I'd love to sit here and say that it was easy peasy and we worked great together, but it took us a long time to find our lanes.
But I think that's so good, because that's what people need to hear. Because
right, I want to go back to that. So, because we glossed over that really quickly, and the idea of the whole couples and the whole couples podcast and the community is, how can entrepreneurial couples either work together, coexist together, those types of things. So let's go back to that. So Ashley, you come into this world of real estate, which was not your forte.
Not at all.
Right? This is all Caleb's world. So he's alpha in this world, and you come in, and though you are personality alpha wise, you are not alpha in this world from a knowledge-based standpoint. So walk us, Ashley, from your perspective, what did that feel like walking into Caleb's world, knowing that you were about to change some things real quick?
It was honestly hard. I actually kind of had to check my ego too, if I'm being completely transparent, because I definitely was so, I don't want to say great at what I did, but I knew what I was doing, and frontwards, backwards, I was the pro. So walking in and not being the pro at anything, and literally having to sit with his closing coordinator and listing coordinator and go over like a closing statement, because I had no idea, just to get to bare minimum of what real estate was. It was hard, but it was,
well, how did y'all handle that relationally? Because again, that can easily, you got 2 alphas, Dana and I are the same way. And sometimes that can shut people down, right? It's like, oh my gosh, there's a conflict. I want to go take it. I want to go rip someone's head off. But at the same time, I don't want to impact my spouse. How did you handle that?
I would say that we didn't handle it well, honestly.
The first 3 months were tough. And then again, like when you found your lane, and like we knew which line not to cross and what you can and cannot say. And that fixed it for the most part.
I had to learn to trust him. And I think that was the biggest thing. I had to figure out within myself, like once I checked my ego, and then I'm like, okay, he he has a great track record. Like, Ashley, come on. This guy he's really good at this. I had to learn to, and that was really hard for me, but just to put my trust in him. I think I'm super risk averse, and he's like, yeah. And so I think, I think there was some compromise there. I mean, we went as far, we've had a life coach. We went to like a financial planner. There were steps that we had to take because I was like, you just throw money around. And I want stability. So we literally, I mean, I would say that's one of the first steps that made us actually start to like, I'm like, okay, if I know that this is being put away every month and this is all settled and this is where, then I can trust you to go, you know.
Yeah, that was huge.
I love that.
Yeah. Cause we just, and I just had to trust him. And I mean, I still do. Like, I catch myself because I'm like, oh, no, and then I'm like, no, Ashley, please.
I love, by the way, this is going to air like not in the month of January, but right now we just got snow in Charleston for the first time in years. And I loved yesterday. This is so funny, you guys. I loved when I opened my story on Instagram and Caleb is being pulled on the golf cart on some like, what even was that?
Snowboard. He's on
a snowboard.
Yes.
On a snowboard. And Ashley is like, I'm not spending my birthday in the hospital, in the emergency room. We're stopping right now. But then here was what's even funnier. Jen and Tim Winters messaged me and said, we almost got taken out by those people. Who is that on that golf cart?
It was dangerous. The whole situation was dangerous.
I literally was dying.
It was funny.
The neighborhood news.
Neighborhood news. Yeah, the old village
I
news.
literally
It's so
outside
funny.
yesterday, and I was like, I was watching all the parents like bundle their kids up, and I was like, oh, it's kind of sad that the kids aren't that age where they like, you got to bundle them up and take them out anymore. And I was like, it's kind of nice though that I don't have to go out in the snow. And then I forgot I was married to a 12-year-old.
Okay, so one thing I didn't want to gloss over too is, so tell them like what you have today. You have the team, you have rent, like tell them about how you guys today.
Yeah, so we've got a couple businesses. We built the team, which we've been building, the real estate brokerage team for like.
Don't be modest.
Don't be modest.
Give us real numbers here.
I mean, we've been doing this for like 14 years, and we'll do anywhere between 75 and 90 million a year on that side. But that's we don't have a big team. We've only got really 4 people and myself that sell. So call it 5 agents.
Yeah.
So they're all really productive. I like to say we've got a bunch of warriors. We don't have an army.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So we've got that team, and then we've got a fix and flip company where we'll fix and flip usually right around 50 homes a year, somewhere in there. So that business runs. Then we bought and hold apartments and mobile home parks, and we've kind of gotten out of the single family space unless we're buying stuff that's like Airbnb and in nice neighborhoods.
Yeah. So we have some Airbnb rentals that are like you said, like nicer in the nicer.
Yeah. We started with buying little single families in the hood, and then we've just kind of climbed out of it. And the more that I'm more of like, I don't buy for the heavy cash flow anymore. I buy for something that does cash flow that's going to be low maintenance.
Yeah.
And we'll appreciate that's in a good neighborhood, like in the neighborhood that you guys and we live in.
Yeah. About how many holds do you all have now?
We're right around like 400-ish units. Somewhere.
Gosh, that's incredible. Wow.
So that's multifamily and single family, right?
That's mostly multifamily and then mobile home parks. And then I don't think we probably have like 8 single family left.
I love that you said that though, because last year I told Adam that my goal for one of our goals for the next couple of years is I'm dying for a mobile home park.
Yep.
I've had it on my list. Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. They're better. I like it better than apartments.
Everyone says that.
People move in and they don't leave. They grow roots in those places. Like their family moves in.
My parents have a mobile home park they've had on Stall Road for my entire life. And it's it's been incredible. Like Boeing's tried to buy it from them because Boeing's all right there. And my dad's just like, absolutely not. Like not until.
Yeah. They're kind of hard to find. Yeah.
But if you don't own the mobile homes and you just own the park and people pay lot rent, they're really low maintenance.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you own the actual mobile home, it's where it comes into a lot more maintenance. But I'm telling you, those people still, it's like they fix their own things. They're just, very blue collar.
Yeah. Do y'all own the mobile homes or just the land?
Most of the parks we own the land, and then we own one in Ladson where it's like 20 units where we own the mobile homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I prefer to own just the land and the lots.
Yeah, that's my grandfather, my papa did that down in Bristol. And like, it's just so, it, like you said, like people will live there their whole lives. I mean,
Whole life.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Really, really good. Wow. Okay. Okay. So, we already kind of talked about
Home park, Adam.
Yeah, that's what she wants for Christmas this year.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. We're right. I'm shooting for that one that's right behind Taco Bell.
that's the one that I really want.
Everybody.
That's a winner.
Every time we go over there, I'm like, we have to figure out how to buy this.
I can only imagine what that land value is.
Yeah.
That's okay. We can all put it out there.
We'll all get it together.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm in.
Okay. So we kind of talked about, you don't really share the same strengths. You guys kind of differ in that area, right?
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I mean, I would say that, Caleb is like the least detail oriented. So basically what I do is I just pick up behind Caleb, I would say, like our entire team does. Like Caleb is like he is pedal to the metal, and it's just like there's this field of dust behind him, and we're all like just picking up the pieces.
Which is like 5 people.
It's a lot of people.
Including her.
And he's getting ready to
I feel like that's me.
Yeah, that's both of us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a lot of picker uppers behind us.
Yeah.
So I'm not like that, which is, and I mean, I'm not, I would say, I did come from the world where I had people that worked for me and did the stuff that I don't want to necessarily do. So that was I had to get back in the weeds on some things, but we definitely, I'm definitely the person that tears the boxes down and takes the trash out. Like Caleb I have to remember when I'm picking his things up off the floor, how much I love him and what he's good at.
I love it.
Well, that can go.
Adam feels like that about me.
Yeah, for sure. That can go into a good relationship-based question, right? So we've got working together, building together, wealth building together, and now, we have couple relationships. You guys are married. So how do you separate the business conversation from the personal conversation to the intimacy to the all of that, right? I know it all flows together, but you got to wear different hats and you got to have different lanes, as Caleb says, and different front yards, right? How do you all handle that?
Yeah, I'd still say most of the time. So we go on date night every Thursday, which is tonight.
It's our thing.
It's still like,
hopefully y'all will go tonight happy after this, and like we won't dredge up something that'll make.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell a funny story here in a minute, but so most of the conversations at dinner still come back to business, just because she's still in the business, not as heavily as she used to be, but she's still like. I'll tell you, I had a problem when she stepped out of the business because I didn't have as much to talk to her about. And she didn't have as much of a pulse about what was going on. I got almost a little depressed with it. I needed her to like kind of rein back.
He likes the challenge and me being like, no, sir.
Yeah. So I would say it's still, everything revolves around us talking about business to a degree.
It does. And I'm sure y'all, it's the same. It's your roots. It's kind of what you, and that's not anything different than before I met him or anything. We're all hard workers. That's just part of who we are. I think it's natural to constantly have ideas and be talking business and talking. So I think, and we enjoy that.
I think a supportive spouse though is undervalued, and people don't realize how much a supportive spouse can help you grow with encouragement versus someone that's always like, don't do it. You're thinking too big. Let's stay conservative. Because I've seen both sides of it, but she's the type that's you go run, I'll help you keep it ordered.
Well, funny you say that, Caleb, because I'll have to find this and send this to you guys. But I just saw a video. I think it was either on YouTube or Instagram, but it was somebody interviewing Warren Buffett, and they said, "What do you think is the most important decision in building like a great life or a wealthy life or whatever?" And he said, "That's super easy. It's your spouse.
That's right.
Your spouse will make or." Yeah, he said your spouse will make or break you. If you don't have a supportive spouse, you'll never get to where you want to get to with your money, your career, your health, like any of those things. Yep. And I was like, I actually save that because I was like, we need to talk about that on the next one that we do, because it is so true. Which actually, okay, so we're kind of going all over the place, but I did want to talk about this because we talk to people about this a lot. But Ashley, you were married before. So will you just talk a little bit about like, what did you want in this marriage versus what you had before? Not in like a negative way, but you know what I mean? Just like anything you're willing to share, because I do think going on the heels of your spouse being supportive is so important. I don't know. I just think sometimes people in second marriages like can speak to that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it ties exactly into what we were just talking about, because I wanted someone I could grow with. I wanted someone that was happy and a positive human that wanted to do more in life. That's what I wanted. That was what I was yearning for. And that is this guy. And so I knew with that there would come, there would be challenges, but I just wanted, I wanted more, and I wanted someone else that wanted more. I know that sounds but I wanted somebody that would grow with me in our friendship, in our relationship, in our faith. Like there were so many things that were, and it just, I remember, and I have to say this, and I think it's kind of cool. I literally told him, he said, if you ever get me to go to church with you, you may as well walk me down the aisle. And I mean, my gosh, like how times have changed. And I'm like, it's just phenomenal, because I mean, of course his faith is strong now, and it's just so cool. Like but I wanted somebody for all those things. And and I think I do have a different set of lenses that I've noticed with several so you guys are both entrepreneurs. I'm not really an entrepreneur. I don't think I really know an entrepreneur when I meet one, and I can totally, and I feel for the spouses of entrepreneurs often, because I think they're misunderstood. And I think that we as partners to entrepreneurs have to realize, hey, this is a gift. God gave them a gift, and it can be looked at so negatively, and it is by so many people I know. And I'm like, no, these guys, this is a gift. We have to look at it from a different set of lenses. I don't know if that.
She did a presentation at our mastermind group in front of like 250-ish people, and she won best presentation at the event. And it was on.
It was a pitiful presentation.
It was fantastic. It's really good. I'll send you the video, but it's on being married to an entrepreneur.
Oh, I would love to see that.
It's super interesting. And what we found too in that mastermind group, there's a lot of people that it's their second marriage.
So many people, it's second marriage. And I'm like, well, it makes sense. Or people that have already had children, or like, it's kind of wild. And I'm like, that's because it's a challenge. Being married to an entrepreneur is not easy. But it's also,
Yeah.
Well, Ashley, you're guilty by association now. You said you weren't an entrepreneur, but you're pretty much an entrepreneur now.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Ashley, stay there for a second. So
are you following the questions or going on your own questions?
I'm going on my own. Well, now that you're an entrepreneur, though, it's what does that feel like, right? So now having and knowing the support that the entrepreneur needs, and we're going to label you as an entrepreneur now. What's that feel like? Where's your head when you think, wow, we literally eat what we kill, and that's what you guys are doing now?
It's honestly in the best place it's ever been. Like I think I look at things from a totally different perspective than I used to. I mean, I was truly the person that in corporate America that killed myself, and I only had so far I could grow to. I mean, I was tapped out basically. I had one other step I could take. And so getting to see that and knowing, like, I love it, because like anytime we like come up with an idea or something, Caleb's like, well, I guess we're going to do it. We just got to work harder. And I'm like, I love it. Like, I love that. And I love the challenge of the next thing coming our way, and to see if I can beat my numbers on the last project, or how profitable we can make things. I mean, it feels good.
It's a roller coaster of emotions though. I mean,
for sure.
You always feel like, okay, I'm on top of the world. And then the next day you feel like everybody's kicking you in the teeth, including including the people that work for you. And I mean, I love our team. If anybody knows anything about our culture, I love our guys, but it's like entrepreneurship it's a grind.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb, you bet me and I had hair, remember?
Yeah.
Go back to the script.
Okay, let me go back. Yes, because we still have some good ones. Okay. What do you guys do as a couple to grow together? I know you said you're in your mastermind, but one of the things we want a lot of our listeners to really understand is the couples that grow together stay together, and their lives can be really, really, really big. When you see one person growing and the other one not growing, they're actually not usually staying the same. They're going backwards. So I know, talk about that, because you guys are both. And
this is really, really good, because a lot of our listeners and the people in our community are not entrepreneur. Right. It's entrepreneur and probably W-2 or some form of that. So it is challenging for them to grow together. So this is going to be a really good question and good answer.
I mean, I read that question and I was like, I feel like we could do better at that. I think when I was more engaged in the business, it was constant mastermind. We had a life coach. I still preach date night. Like that is our, but as far as just continuing to grow in our relationship and faith, I think we could definitely do better.
We travel a lot together. I mean, but date night, I would say date night's the number one thing. Like it keeps the train on the tracks, because I run in so many different directions, and that 1 hour a week where we go out and I leave my phone in the car or at the house, which is hard for me. I know it's probably my favorite time of the week, and it just gets the relationship. It gets us back.
I think that the biggest, I would say I prioritize our relationship above any other relationship other than with God, obviously. Right. And I think I am willing to bet if anyone you ask that knows us would say, oh yeah, like that is, and I think that's important. Yeah. Like that's where it's at. Like I want us to always be talking about our relationship and what we can do to improve it, and how, because I don't want to lose another relationship. And you know, I just think it's so important. And I think it's important for all of everybody that works with us. I think it's important for the kids to see. I think it's important just all the way around.
Well, you know what that reminds me of is, and we're going to have them on too. They're going to be a part of our community as one of our experts 1 month. But we went to lunch with Mac and Cindy Lake, Brandon Lake's parents, and we asked, and they're just the best people. Like amazing. They're so great in so many ways. But we asked them like what they thought the key to a successful marriage was, and they're going to talk about this. So I don't want to give it all away, but instantly right off the bat, the first thing they said was other than our relationship with God, it's us next. It's not the kids before us. That's right. Which is what, 90% probably more of people do. Like their kids are the first relationship, and then their spouse comes second. Yeah. And Cindy said, our kids have known from day one, we love you guys so much, but we love each other more. And like, we will never put our relationship with you guys above our relationship. And we were like, man, that's so encouraging to hear.
So encouraging.
It's so true, because I mean, I know, Adam, you can look back probably in your past relationship as well, and like your marriage. And I'm like, that was not the case. And I fought for that. But this time I was like, this will be the case, and it will always be the case, because it is, we're going to grow old together. I hope, we're going to be, the kids are going to be gone. And I have so many friends that watch, and they don't take time for their relationship. And I beg them. I literally beg them.
We heard something the other day, and it was, we got one going off to college next year, which is weird.
Crazy.
I know. One of the parents said they went to the college orientation, and the lady at the front goes, all right, parents, look to your right, look to your left. 2 out of 3 people that you see are going to be divorced within a year.
Wow.
2 out of 3 of the sets of parents, which I thought was crazy.
Because once the kids are gone, you look up and you're like, who are you? I don't even know you.
Yeah, if you don't have a relationship and the kids are gone, and the kids were priority number 1, and now you got a new priority number 1, but they're not really your priority, and they haven't been your priority for the last 18 years, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge problem. Yeah. And I think it's like, my parents have led that by example. I've always known that they loved each other above all. And it just puts you on the same page too. I just think it's incredible and important.
Okay, so that actually walks into my next question, which Caleb and I share. It sounds like we are more alike than we thought we were, but we also share the title of bonus mom and bonus dad. So Caleb, I did want you to talk a little bit, because I've looked to you before, like with your relationship with the girls, and it's inspiring to me. Mm-hmm. And I would love for you guys to talk a little bit about that, and just
you're a rock star.
Yeah, you've been awesome.
Yes. I love watching it. I love watching it.
But you know, like what? And I think you would would say this too, Caleb, I really want you to speak into it, but it does take intentionality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely does. They were 7 and 9, and now they're 17 and 18.
Wow.
Well, 16.
Well, 16 and 18. Yeah, sorry, math doesn't work there. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain some things that we've done, like date night with them. We'd separate them. She'd take one, I'd take one. We didn't do it as much as I probably would have liked and consistently as we would, but those are some of the best memories I have, was like taking Bren to go look for shark's teeth. And then Kenzie, nothing to do with shark's teeth, but she wanted to go to the arcade. So we'd set like $100 budget. She'd take one with $100. I'd take another one. And then we'd end up going out for the night and come back home. I think they've got cool memories as far as that goes.
Yeah.
And then the last 3 years, I've coached Bren's golf team, and that was kind of our thing. And
Love that.
Yeah.
it was sad. Like I almost cried when it was over, because like that was our thing. So if you'd have to find something that you can find in common with each one of them, and then just dive deep into with that.
Yeah.
Well, he always, I would say he handles, I couldn't imagine. And I look at you, Dana, and I know you're doing the same thing, but I can't imagine anyone else being more perfect for my children, just in all ways. I mean, just as an example, as a role model, Brenna was talking to me about all this, and she was like, he pushes us. He wants the best for us. He protects us. Like, it's just, I mean, you've never skipped a beat, like, as not treated them as his own children.
That's so good.
Yeah.
No, they've been amazing though. I'll tell you one of my favorite things that I'd always tell people, that that came into their life when they were young, and they've never ever said, you can't tell me that. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my dad.
Yeah.
I say the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not one time. So, I mean, that just means a lot to me.
But you two treat our kids, and I know, Adam, I see it. Like, y'all, we're so much love into them. Like, we're so fortunate to have y'all to do that, because I have lots of friends that's not the case. And
I was just about to say, yeah. I have a lot of friends that's not the case too. And it is a difficult role, because, you're going to love your mom and your dad no matter what they do. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, okay, I feel like it can be a difficult role to be in, but I think in the same breath, like and I'm sure Caleb, you're the same way, but I've never tried to like tiptoe into it. It's like, we're all in this for the long haul. So, we're going to love each other, and everybody's going to do the best for everybody.
Ash, I'm sure you can relate to this. One of my happiest moments was, and it's funny because it came back to bite me a little bit, was instead of the kids calling me for something, they started calling Dana. And then they kept calling Dana. And then they called Dana even more. And then the moment that they called me, she was like, well, why aren't they calling me? And I was like,
I love it.
Here we go.
We fight about it. Like, one of them will call one of us, and Adam will be like, why did she call you? And I'm like, I don't know, because she wanted to. And then the other day, Addison, I had texted him and he didn't respond. And then he called Adam, and I said, why did he call you? And Adam said, I guess he wanted to.
Or my favorite go-to, and we know this is a joke. It's like, he just loves me more. I mean, that's just what it is. He loves me more.
I also think in a second marriage with children involved, them knowing that you two are putting your relationship first is so important, because my kids know they can't come to me and complain about him. Like, that's not happening. So they're not going to disrespect him. They're going to, and I think that's really important.
That's a great point. Yeah, totally a great point.
Well, and in my opinion with that too, and again, watching you guys, there's so much love, Caleb, that you pour into those girls. It is incredible. And Ashley, I know that you feel that from him, and the girls feel that. And so the word disrespect or whatever it may be probably will never, ever come out of their mouths because of that level of love that he pours into them. Because I know it's the exact same way with you.
Well, and I always say, like, they have a great mom. They have a great dad. So I just want to be the extra, I just want to be that great extra person that they can come to, and that, is like the next person in line. Cause it's never been like, I'm not trying to replace their mom or replace it's like they already have a mom and dad, and that's great, but they also have me. And so it's like, I just always want to be like the extra lover.
It's totally blessed to have you both.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we've got very similar situations.
Yeah.
Very totally.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Cause similar ages too.
Yeah.
16, soon to be 17 and 15.
Yeah, because they were young. I think they were 6 and 8, maybe. It was very similar ages. Okay, 2 more quick questions. We didn't talk about this, I don't think, but how do y'all handle conflict together? Any tips on conflict?
That's gonna be a good one.
And Caleb, I think you said you had a story you wanted to tell too, so I don't want to pass that.
Well, you had some stories.
Oh, I was going to tell them about the premarital counseling.
Oh, tell them.
This is way off topic, but have you ever seen Ozark where the guy pays a therapist and then he walks out and she always takes his side?
Yep.
Well, we did premarital counseling with the pastor that was doing our wedding, and we went 2 or 3 times, and we're about to leave on the last time, and he looks at us and he goes, well, he looks at me and he goes, you don't really need to come back. I think you're good. But we're going to have to spend a little bit of time. I was like, yes.
SOB. Like, are you kidding me?
I was like,
Actually failed.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, what was the question? What was the question?
That was perfect, though. Well, Caleb, going back to that, and I do think that that's important, and Ashley, I'm sure you would agree too. Ashley, with second marriage and Caleb's first marriage, I hired a coach when I knew that I was ready to propose to Dana, and that was a relationship coach. And I wanted that coach to coach me up on being an even better person for Dana than I was in the past. And then 2 or 3 months into coaching with him, brought her into the mix.
Well, no, he said, I just want to tell you that I hired as a coach. And I was like thinking it was going to be for business or like how we build more wealth. And I was like, oh, great. What is it? And he's like, it's a relationship coach. And I was like, oh, I think we have a good relationship. On the first Zoom with Dr. Flanagan, who also is going to be a part of the community, and he's amazing. But we get on the first Zoom with him, and he said, so why are you guys here? And I was like, well, truthfully, I'm just here because Adam told me I had to be here.
He was the best, though. He was really good.
He was amazing. Yeah. Okay. So the question was, how do you handle conflict together? Yeah. Any tips on people who are, because, I feel like through the pandemic years, we hear a lot more conflict happening on like a more regular basis. So just curious on tips for handling conflict.
Relationship conflict, yeah.
I mean, he told you. I just wait to be apologized to, even if I'm wrong.
That's how it works. She just gets mad and completely shuts down for a day until I say I'm sorry, and then we're good.
No, I think that we don't have an insane amount of conflict. But when we do, I think that I've read about this, and I just think that always knowing that at the end of the day, our goal is to do this together and be together. And we're after the same thing. Like we both respect each other's opinions. But I mean, of course there's going to be arguments. I don't know that we, I feel like we productively just walk through it. But basically it's one of us is, I heard something the other day where this woman said that her and her husband, they don't approach a conflict as a conflict. They look at it as what nobody's at fault, but what are we going to do to fix this? We do not. We do not do that. I'm like, this is your problem and you need to fix it. And I think he's like that. I mean, like to point the finger a little bit, but I mean, I think I don't really know the answer to that.
We don't let it linger. We usually,
that's good.
Maybe
I can't
it might last
stand
a couple hours. She gets all sad.
I get sad
for a little while.
Yes.
And then we fix it. But we definitely don't let anything linger more than a day.
But if this is not fixed, I don't think anything else works.
Yeah.
So
Very true.
I go off the rails. Like I'm a bad friend. I'm a bad mom. And everybody's like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, oh, you don't. Like this has to be good.
Yeah.
But you know what I feel like that says is that you're so in sync the majority of the times that when you have a conflict, you feel like out of sync. And then when you're out of sync, it affects everything else. It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kills me.
Yeah. I love that. I love that so much. Okay. We could talk to y'all all day. Okay. What are y'all most excited about as a couple, like for the future, for the next year or anything big coming up? Anything y'all are excited about?
We just got our 4th dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a 4th dog.
Yeah.
But we are getting ready to be empty nesters. So we are literally a year and 4 months out from being completely, both kids being gone because they're juniors and seniors.
So
Yeah,
crazy.
We have done a lot of travel over in Europe. I mean, we've done quite a bit in the States and in the Caribbean, but we said once the kids graduate, we'll start hitting Europe and maybe do some of Asia, South America.
Some longer trips.
Yeah, some longer trips. So I guess I'm excited about the travel.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where Bryn goes to school next year. She's leaning heavily towards Georgia.
Sorry, y'all.
Georgia, nice.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait, where's Kinsey? Where is Kinsey going?
we don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, did I miss that? Okay.
No. She's the younger one, so we don't know where she's
Yeah,
going.
Bryn was accepted.
That's right. Yes. Okay. That's right. Yes.
Is she going to play golf there?
What'd you say?
Is she going to play golf? No. Okay.
No.
Gotcha. Okay.
She's an academic weapon, not a.
Yeah, not that.
Must have been the high school coach. That was the problem.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
So I'm having a little bit of a hard time. So I'm it's going to be interesting. I think Caleb's been awesome. He has a personal coach right now, or a business coach. I don't know what he is, but he I didn't mean it like that. Like, he's great. He's his mentor. And Caleb was like talking about selling the house, and he was like, "Don't do that to that woman. Like, she's having," and I'm like, I am having a hard time right now. Like, our world's getting ready to be turned upside down, and it's gonna but college, we'll go visit him in college and just try.
Yeah.
And I got to find some hobbies.
We're 2 years away from that. So I know we keep talking about with Addison, he'll start doing college visits probably this summer.
That's right.
As a junior.
It's
so
crazy.
It really,
around the corner.
yeah, it really is. Well, the thing I want to end with saying that I love and appreciate so much about you all, and you all inspire. For one, I feel like we need to get our regular date nights back together because we haven't been doing that.
Nope.
But also that I would love for the listeners to also go back and implement is when I think of you all, I think of fun.
Yeah.
And you have fun together always. I mean, you always are having fun together. And I just think so many people get stale in their relationships, and when you stop having fun together, it's like everything else kind of starts to spiral. So I love you all are encouraging to us about how much fun you always have together, and I think it's
a little too much fun, honestly. We could probably scale it back.
Never. You guys were the ones, honey, when we got married. Who do we spend the night with? Well, not literally spend the night with. Who do we spend the whole evening with?
I was like, wait a minute,
These two right here.
Yes,
Remember?
that's right. Yes, the after party.
Yep. I'm pretty sure I was throwing my suit from the wedding with these guys.
That was the best day ever.
That was so much fun.
So
Caleb,
fun.
just out of curiosity, do you still have some of those oyster shells that you stole from the table that had everybody else's name on them?
Dewey's.
He still has Dewey's
on my dresser.
Not right.
So much fun. This has been a lot of fun.
This has been so fun. Thank you all so much. Any parting words? Anything? Any advice?
No, we love y'all. Thanks.
No, but I've got a couple other hosts or guests that you guys need to bring on. So
Nice. We would love that. Yeah, definitely let us know. We would love that. Absolutely.
People that you would go to for sure, relationship.
Nice. Well, we are so grateful that you guys came on. Thank you so much. How can people? You are both on Instagram. We'll link and tag you, and then let them find more about you that way too.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Love you guys. Thank y'all.
We love y'all too. Thank you.